Good evening. I call this March 11th, 2024 meeting of the Sylvania Board of Education to order. Please rise. No, I'm sorry. Not yet. Every time.
You'll get used to it.
Yeah. Please call the roll, Adam.
Ms. Hoffman.
Present.
Mrs. Conklin.
Here.
Mrs. Lavalette.
Here.
Mr. Feller. Here. Mrs. Johnson.
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Motley, I believe we have some presentations.
Yes, we do. Can you hear me out there? Are we clear? Okay. Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Ms. Lavalette. We have our first presentation tonight. We have Aspire ESOL, the program that is located in the annex of 4747, and it is our pleasure to have them with their presentation tonight to highlight some aspects of their program. And I believe Julie Stanton is here. Don't see her. Julie? I'm practicing my teacher wait time just in case she's in the restroom. I don't know. We confirmed we have her PowerPoint. With that, I guess we will switch the order and we will move on to our presentation. We have a second presentation, item 2.2 for LifeWise Church. We have LifeWise Pastor Sutton here from Five Lakes Church, who is here to discuss LifeWise. Pastor Sutton, the floor is yours. Yes, please.
Thank you very much. This is actually for LifeWise Academy, not LifeWise Church. But good evening, Sylvania Board of Education members and fellow residents of our beautiful community. I'm honored to stand before you to advocate for the introducing of LifeWise Academies to our school district. My name is Micah Sutton, and my family and I have proudly called Sylvania home for nearly 7 years, having experienced a childhood that included 15 different elementary and junior high schools and culminated in graduating from my 4th high school. I appreciate the significance of a stable and supportive educational environment. As an adult, I've had the privilege of being part of several school districts. Our oldest son graduated from Tomball High School in Texas, and our youngest graduated from Northview. Christy and I have been deeply impressed by the commitment to academic excellence, diverse extracurricular activities, and the unwavering support of our community within the Sylvania School District. In our eyes, it stands shoulder to shoulder with the nationally leading educational systems that we found in the states of Massachusetts and in Texas. Equally noteworthy is the district's commitment to diversity and inclusivity, particularly concerning the expression of faith. When the Muslim community expressed their desire for their children to pray during school hours, the district and the Sylvania Education Association collaborated to find suitable times and spaces within school hours, allowing these students to practice their faith. As we approach Ramadan, it's heartening to know that appropriate accommodations are available for the children of families that choose to participate in faith-based activities during school hours. Almost a year ago, a local business owner, Matt Aston, initiated discussions with other community leaders about potentially introducing a LifeWise Academy program to our district. That conversation grew into meetings with other businesses and religious leaders in our region and has culminated in this moment. LifeWise is a Christian faith-based program that collaborates with school districts nationwide to provide scripture-based instruction. Importantly, the program adheres to federal and state laws, is privately funded, is held off school grounds, and requires the approval of a parent or guardian for participation. We ask that LifeWise be available to families with children within the Sylvania School District. Nearly 800 Sylvania residents have signed the community interest list, and many of our business people have rallied in support of the initiative. Numerous churches, including Westgate Chapel, Anchor Church, Church 321, Boulevard Church, Bethany Community Church, Flanders Road Church of Christ, King of Glory Lutheran Church, and my home church, Five Lakes Church, also stand behind this proposal. Additionally, dozens of Sylvania residents who are fully vetted and background checked will shift busy schedules, volunteering time, and to prioritize our community's children. This is the essence of what it means to be in community. LifeWise is a proven success many times over. It operates in 12 states and 400 schools, with approximately 4,000 students enrolled. It's clear that the program is adaptable to the needs of each community and each learning environment. Working collaboratively, schools and LifeWise devise tailored plans, ensuring the program enhances rather than detracts from the educational environment, taking away from core curriculum and enhancing public education. Some programs hold classes during non-core courses such as art, music, or gym, while others include lunch, recess, and/or library time. The question is not, will it work, but will you allow it to work? A study by the national consulting firm Thomas P. Miller and Associates overwhelmingly supports the positive impact of LifeWise Academy's programming. Released in November of 2023, the report revealed that 76% of nearly 500 educators agreed that both schools and students benefited from LifeWise, while an impressive 96% of over 1,100 parents indicated that they would recommend other parents to enroll their children in LifeWise. Moreover, the study demonstrated a nearly 7% improvement in attendance and almost 20 fewer students with in-school suspensions after implementing LifeWise Academy. In essence, we propose a partnership with our local school district to introduce a program that fosters good character and positive mental and spiritual health in our children. We hope to realize the potential to improve academic and behavioral environments in our schools while enhancing the school's relationship with religious families in the district. It is essential to note that any released time course in religious instruction is empowered and governed by federal and state law, is cost-free to families and the school, and is held off grounds and requires parental or guardian approval. Now, we understand that families may choose not to participate, but we ask for the opportunity to provide them with that choice. This ensures that participation is aligned with each family's values and preferences, offering a further personalized program to Sylvania schools, often lacking in standard programming. At this time, I'd like to introduce fellow steering committee member, Mrs. Kelly Richards, whom Mr. Matt Aston will follow.
Good evening. My name is Kelly Richards. I'm a lifelong resident of Sylvania, a graduate of Sylvania schools, and my husband and I chose to raise our two boys here as well, and they are both graduates of Sylvania schools. I think we can all agree that the issues we faced as we went through school are very different than the issues our children now face. Those struggles rapidly change, and my husband and I even see a difference from when our boys graduated just a few years ago to what parents and students are facing now. The amount of influence social media has on our children is staggering, and their access to content that creates a sinkhole of poor self-worth and promotion of unhealthy behaviors available to them through a never-ending stream of digital access is a battle that commands as many allies as possible. LifeWise is one such ally. As I'm sure many others in this room have done, my husband and I worked diligently to instill character qualities in our kids that would benefit not only themselves, but the community in which they live. We would have welcomed a committed, consistent, and competent partner like LifeWise to walk alongside us and our kids' teachers, instilling traits like patience, gratitude, and compassion. While I and many other community members see LifeWise as a valuable, successful resource already deployed in other communities, I also wanted to gain an understanding of the potential value from an educator's standpoint. I wanted to better understand the goals of our public school system as they relate to development of the whole child. As I searched, I was encouraged by the depth of importance our public education system places on character and moral development. And while not all agree on the definition of spirituality, there was an agreement on the importance of spiritual development. I was very pleased to read the following on the U.S. Department of Education's website. It says, to successfully implement character education, schools are encouraged to form a vital partnership with parents and the community so that students hear a consistent message about character traits essential for success in school and life. As well, it said provide opportunities for school leaders, teachers, parents, and community partners to model exemplary character traits and social behaviors. It goes on that website saying that from state to state, the following are common threads in character education agendas. Involvement of the whole community in designing and implementing character education for its schools, and a commitment to making character education an integral part of the education process. As the Ohio Department of Education speaks to strategy around the whole child framework, it recognizes that schools must work together with parents, caregivers, and community partners to help schools meet the needs of the whole child. This strategy emerged from a deep recognition that unless the whole child is considered and supported, the conditions for learning are less than optimal. I've witnessed our teachers' commitment to excellence through the teaching of core education, and there's no doubt they're equally committed to developing the whole child. If we're honest, though, the demand of time and resources that it takes to focus on all of these areas leaves our educators in need of partners. Partners like LifeWise. This is exactly why LifeWise exists, to form a vibrant, mutually beneficial community partnership to offer to parents a consistent, safe option through a proven structure, complete with background checks and safety protocols put in place, much like our schools. They can have the best of both core education and whole child development right here in our public schools. Thanks.
Good evening. My name is Matt Aston, and my wife and I have sent each of our 3 children through Sylvania schools. We have 2 that have graduated, and our youngest will graduate this May. When our children reach school age, we weighed the choice over and over again, whether or not to send them to private school or to public schools. While we chose Sylvania, this choice would have been simpler for us if there were an option like LifeWise available at that time. In my view, adding a LifeWise program only enhances the offering that Sylvania already has. There's a clear desire for a program like LifeWise in this community, as we've obtained nearly 800 signatures from Sylvania residents over the last few weeks in support of launching this program. Perrysburg launched their program at the beginning of this school year, and Anthony Wayne recently received approval to launch theirs at the beginning of the next school year. Other districts in our area partnering with LifeWise include Defiance, Napoleon, Bryan, Wauseon, Archbold, Liberty Center, and several more. There are committees, steering committees like ours, working to launch LifeWise programs in Toledo Public Schools, in Washington local schools, Oregon, and Bowling Green as well. We have the funding in place to launch this program right now. There are 7 churches who've agreed to open their doors to host the LifeWise program within their facility, all of which within 1 to 2 miles of the corresponding 7 elementary schools in Sylvania. 3 are a short walk from the school. In looking through the sample curriculum packet I provided each of you in the manila folder, the first lessons of the year are centered around gratitude, respect, obedience, responsibility, patience, and courage. These are character-building lessons resulting in better behavior, a decrease in the need for disciplinary action within the school, after LifeWise programs are in place, improved academic performance, and even data pointing to better mental health for the students taking part in the program. I want to emphasize something. We are not trying to create this program. LifeWise began in 2018, and after some early growth, they set an ambitious goal. They wanted to be in 25 different school buildings by the year 2025. Today, they're in over 400 buildings, and nearly 40,000 kids per week are being impacted by LifeWise programs across the country, throughout 218 districts. This is a proven model with a core value of excellence. We are ready to launch. The community is voicing their desire for this program. Just a few things to reiterate before I close. All students, regardless of their faith background, are welcome to be part of LifeWise. All it takes is for their parents to sign off to be part of the program. No student will miss any of the core curriculum or traditional lessons that are already in place. When approved, LifeWise staff will work with Sylvania Schools to find either open space in the calendar, or they can take advantage of recess and lunchtime to accommodate the LifeWise, the time dedicated to the LifeWise class. It's 1 day per week per grade is the way they traditionally roll it out. One other point to reiterate, there is no cost to Sylvania Schools or to Sylvania taxpayers for this program. This is 100% funded by LifeWise. No child will be required to pay anything to take part in this program. So I believe the benefits are very clear. We're asking for your approval to start this LifeWise program in Sylvania Schools. We'd like to launch in August or September, the beginning of the next school year. I thank you very much for your time, and I'd be glad to answer any questions you all have.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I also apologize. You are correct, Pastor Sutton. It is not LifeWise Church. It is LifeWise Academy. I apologize for that error. I am going to, Ms. Lavalette, if I may, see if our first presentation folks are here to present on Aspire. Seeing that no one is here, we will reach out to them and see what may have happened. Yeah. So I think we shall move on to item 3 on our agenda.
Okay, we are now at the portion of our agenda for public participation for items that are on the agenda. If you want to speak today, you do need to sign up on the sheet that, if anyone does want to speak who didn't have the opportunity to sign up on the sheet, just let Amy know. When you come up, please state your name, address, and your group affiliation if you have one. And public comments need to be limited to 3 minutes. We're not going to engage in a dialogue, but we may ask clarifying questions if we have any. Allison Burns.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Allison Burns, and I reside at 7139 Tottenham Road. I am a parent and a taxpayer. My son attends Southview High School, and I'm speaking tonight against the proposal to incorporate LifeWise here in Sylvania Schools. I don't think that anybody is here to debate whether the curriculum itself is good or not. The question that we should be asking ourselves is there room to have this at Sylvania Schools, and is it appropriate? And I believe it is not. I think there are a number of reasons. I think that as a taxpayer, I invest in our community, and I'm concerned for the whole child. We heard just a few minutes ago by our presenters that whole child is important. But in order to get something, you have to give up something. And my concern, first of all, is if we were to allow students to take time out of school, which is publicly funded, to attend this program, then they would have to miss out on other opportunities. We heard the humanities, for instance. I believe in order to be a balanced child, as research shows, you must have opportunity and exposure to the humanities. That is one factor. I think from a liability perspective, it makes me very concerned. We hear that some of the facilities may be within walking distance. I'm concerned if there's a liability issue as a taxpayer, then I would have to pay for that. And this is not a program that I support. I think also we're a community that excels in being inclusive. By having this opportunity during the day where students are able to leave class to explore this program and to come back with rewards along the lines of treats and stickers and other type of activities, perceived fun, if you will, then that excludes the other classmates who are unable to participate. I think that also, if we look especially at the younger children who tend to be more impressionable, I think it imposes values that not everybody may choose to share. I think, you know, for those who wish to engage in such learning and activities, that's perfect to do with the church or after school. That's great. You know, there's a lot of opportunities for that. I do not believe it belongs during the day with public-funded schools.
Thank you.
And that's basically the gist. Thank you.
Thank you. Stephen Rothschild.
Good evening. I'm Stephen Rothschild. I reside at 2808 Squirrel Bend here in Sylvania. I'm a past board member of this board, having served for 6 years from 2013 to 2019. I graduated from Sylvania Northview High School in 1981. I am a proud supporter of public and private schools. I believe that both have a place and a role, and my own children attended both private school, private religious school through grade 5, and then attended Sylvania public schools, all 3 boys having graduated from Southview. I think that the LifeWise program and proposal is a mistake for Sylvania because it encourages a blurring of the line between public and private schools in a way that does not promote public education. When I was on the school board, I viewed every issue through the lens of whether my decision was going to positively impact and support the unique role of public education in our democracy. That meant, in part, was it consistent with pluralistic values? Did it promote good citizenship, or did it help to create an environment of division and separateness? Did it make Sylvania stronger for everyone, red, blue, God-fearing, God-loving, or atheist? Does it help our teachers and administrators teach our children? Today, there is no way to chart the relationship between religion and public life. We cannot avoid that religion has an impact on public life, whether we want it to or not. The real question for this board that has echoed throughout history is whether we can find ways to live together despite the fact that we can't find ways of believing or worshiping together in uniformity. Questions about faith, the practice of faith, and the efforts to convince one of the merits of any particular faith belong in our churches, synagogues, mosques, and in the private schools that are designed by those of faith. Public schools should remain places that are different from private schools. Public schools remain one of the few places in our society where the blended fabrics of our nation still make any effort to weave themselves into the quilt that our founders aspired to. The fact that public schools do not favor one religion over another is a fundamental strength of the public school system, and one that should not be impacted by the complexities of removing children from school during the regular school day for religious education. If the board takes up this issue tonight for a vote, I urge you to postpone a decision pending further review by administrators and the board regarding the impact and costs of the program on educational instruction. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Drew Wood.
Good evening. My name's Drew Wood. I live at 3857 Harrows Field here in Sylvania. I've got a daughter and a son who both attend Stranahan Elementary. My daughter is going to be a student here at Timberstone next year, and I'm proud of her. Proud to be a Sylvania Public Schools parent, and boy, when I heard of this, I couldn't stay home. I'm not one for board meetings. I'm not here all the time. Other than people I know from court, it's probably the first time you've ever seen me. The thing that strikes me about LifeWise is that freedom of practice of religion, it's intimately connected to the freedom from religion. That no one can impose their religious beliefs upon you so that you're free to practice on your own. And I think when you first look at this, it feels like a choice. It feels like an option, that it's only adding for kids to go. But I think about my kids, and as much as they love school and their friends, they also love a snow day. They love second bonus recess. They love getting out of class. And having a certain group of students, the chosen ones, who get to skip classes that they don't like. Maybe your kid doesn't like gym. Well, here's a way to get out of it. But if you want it, you have to join. You have to be part of the religion. And kids are going to feel that pressure. It's something that shouldn't be inflicted on children. Are they truly going to understand as children the difference between LifeWise and their teachers, between what the public schools endorse and what is this allegedly optional thing? Or are they going to be children and they just understand my school day starts at 9 and I go and I attend and these are my teachers and these are some different teachers? And is it going to seem like there's a publicly endorsed religion? You know, the phrase whole child was thrown around. But only for certain children, apparently. Only for children who follow the right religion get to be treated as a whole child. But these other children of other religions, they're not incomplete. They shouldn't be made to feel that way. Myself, I attended both public schools and a private religious school for a while. And I remember when I was there feeling like my faith wasn't strong enough. Like I was left out and left behind, that everybody else who went and did this worship was somehow better than me. And that I needed to get with it, that I needed to worship harder, be more, because I also knew the stakes, right? Eternal damnation is the other option. And no child should have to be made to worry about that if they don't join the club, that they're making the wrong decision. I'll leave you with this. One of the wonderful things about Sylvania Schools, and about Stranahan in particular, is its character-based education. The PAWS promise to always be positive, accountable, well-mannered with self-control. We're here in Timberstone, and we can see it in a giant sign in the cafeteria. And it's one of the things that makes me proudest in Sylvania Schools, that I never wake up in the morning and think about my child being bullied because he has hypochondroplasia, because he's a little person. He comes to school every day and he feels lucky. His friends love him. And it's because of Sylvania's character-based education that needs nothing to do with religion. And it should stay that way. Thank you.
I'm going to guess at this one. Ayana Ajanu? Any idea? Here she comes. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. I'm sure I mispronounced your name, but I'm sorry about it.
Sorry. My name is Hannah Jumha. I reside at 3937 Pepperwood Court. My name is Hannah Jumha, and I'm a student at Sylvania Southview. I stand before you today not just as an individual, but as a representation of our diverse community. It is because I believe in the integrity of Sylvania schools and all of those within it that I proudly oppose the integration of LifeWise Academy into Sylvania schools. Sylvania Schools' mission is to, quote, educate, empower, and inspire students to reach their full potential as lifelong contributors to a global society through the core beliefs of inclusivity, collaboration, and community. Recognize that insofar as we ought to uphold these values, the rejection of LifeWise Academy is necessary. My primary concern lies in the fundamental principle that LifeWise Academy teaches, directly promoting the othering of non-Christians. On the What Do We Teach section of their website, outlining what beliefs LifeWise content reflects, Section 8 and Section 15 undercover the exclusion their program believes in. Section 8 reads, "Man's nature is corrupted, and he is thus totally unable to please God. Every man is in need of regeneration and renewal by the Holy Spirit." This section outlines that those who do not align with the Christian faith are corrupt. Teaching this rhetoric to children sets them to become prejudiced adults. LifeWise teaches children to not view others with humanity, but to view them with judgment and hate. Section 15 states, "At physical death, the unbeliever enters immediately into eternal separation from the Lord and awaits everlasting condemnation." The depiction in view LifeWise and its supporters hold of non-Christians is ignorant at best and discriminatory at worst. We have an obligation to our community to promote understanding and unity. Our public schools should be spaces where children are nurtured to appreciate diversity and learn the importance of understanding and respecting one another, regardless of background or faith. The integration of LifeWise threatens to compromise this essential foundation. One of the presenters got up here and told you that LifeWise is not just for Christian kids, it's for anyone of any faith. But recognize that in the same breath, you cannot say that it's for any children, but that then tell those same children that they're corrupt and destined to a life of hell. We have to wake up and realize that what children in Sylvania schools need to learn is not that people who look like me are corrupt and immoral, but rather that their neighbors, friends, and classmates are all people who deserve equal dignity and respect, regardless if they pray a different way or have beliefs and customs they don't understand. Thus, I implore you to consider the impact of LifeWise Academy on the inclusivity and community that defines Sylvania schools. Let us stand firm in our commitment to providing an education that unites rather than divides, fostering an environment where every student feels valued and respected. Thank you.
Thank you. Dan Greenberg.
Dan Greenberg, 4654 Vicksburg Drive. I first just want to make a note that was probably difficult to speak after Rehana and the words that she said. How can I follow up that? But I do just want to say I am the president of the Sylvania Education Association. But I'm not here speaking as a president. I'm here speaking as a teacher, a parent, a member of the Sylvania community, and a proud member of the Jewish community. And I'm urging you to not accept LifeWise into our school system. I heard what so many have said, and I don't want to be repetitious about that. I suppose I just want to speak from the heart. I know what it is to be a Jewish student, to be a minority, to be in a space and to spend my entire public school career as an other. To be faced with letting my faith and my family down, or by going along with the singing of religiously based Christmas carols in my 3rd grade class. I know how hard it was when my family had to come in 4th grade and say that I couldn't be in the Christmas pageant with everybody else in the 2 weeks that we spent on that versus lessons. It was about me being the other. It was about playing soccer in high school, and the entire team whose coach had our coach took kids to the church on Friday nights, and I wasn't invited. My whole team was invited to go to the church, but because I was Jewish, I wasn't. I know what it is to be othered, and you heard Rehana say that. I know what it is. I'm standing here as an adult, as a 48-year-old adult, and it is a life lesson that I will never forget. And I do not want that for Sylvania students. I do not want any Sylvania student feeling like an other. Whatever their beliefs, we heard about the whole child, and I don't believe in not just education of the whole child, but every child. And that means promoting policies and practices that do not make Sylvania students feel excluded. Thank you.
Thank you. Dia Yermis?
Hello, my name is Dia Yermal, 8730 Birchbark Drive. I'm a student from Sylvania Southview, and I'm speaking to oppose LifeWise Academy. As a child, I always wished that I was a white kid. I've been told by others that my religion was a sin. And all I can say is public education is not about educating students, not about religion. Students should not be losing an hour per week of valuable time to leave school for religious study. There is a reason why our community has private schools, Sunday schools, youth groups, and after-school programs dedicated to religious studies. I understand that missing an hour a week for school doesn't seem like a big deal for many people, but it is. Sylvania School is not a place where elementary schoolers have magically exceptional grades. I have worked with kids in educational settings over the summer in intensive 45-hour weeks with kids ages 6 to 8. Our community's kids struggle with basic arithmetic, reading and writing anything besides their own names. Children who are gone during religious study time should not be accepted to receive extra time on classwork, because if you need extra time, it means you need help and you do not understand the curriculum. When you take groups of kids out of school, what about the rest in school? Are teachers expected to give extra work to students during 1-hour-long periods? If so, why are those students being punished with extra work just because they do not attend Bible study? Something that may not align with the religious beliefs of many families. If no additional work is given, then what are students expected to do? Nothing? Extra recess, study hall for second graders? Moving farther ahead in the curriculum, leaving LifeWise kids stuck behind? 1 hour also means a lot for teachers when they plan curriculums for the year. They fit so much into a period that seems too little. Teachers are already overwhelmed and must account for students losing around 36 school hours a year if LifeWise Academy is available in Sylvania, not including absent days. Moving on to my next point, LifeWise says on its website that it wants to bring Bible education back to public schools. There is a reason why it was removed. There is a reason why there's a separation of church and state. Not everyone is Christian. Not everyone follows Abrahamic religions. Not everyone is religious. This is an insane goal to bring religion back into public school. I mean, it's public school for a reason. Also, if you want to get back religious education in schools, you should be educating students about all religions, not just one. LifeWise has also experienced a lawsuit in the past 2 years. This is available just with a quick Google search. The plaintiff held concerns about deceptive marketing practices, lack of transparency, inadequate infrastructure, and subpar educational standards. This lawsuit still stands as a concern because if there are concerns like these in the past 2 years, I wouldn't be surprised if similar ones arose soon. Just because the law makes something legal doesn't mean it should be done. My personal concerns play in as well because when doing my research in the program, I hit a dead end when it came to educators. My question still remains as to who we are putting in charge of our children, what their qualifications are, what training have they had dealing with our children, and how extensive background searches are conducted, if any are used at all. Thank you.
Thank you. Rhoda Alabas.
Hello, my name is Rhoda Al-Abbas. I'm from Toledo Newcomer Center. We're powered by Jewish Family Service. We are a resettlement agency. So now Toledo community are expecting 350 refugees coming this year. Most of them gonna be through our agency. Our only concern, like when we talk to refugees and there's introduce them to the community here and to the culture, is the religion. So we are so proud of Sylvania School. I have 2 kids studying here in Timberston Junior High School, and the reason why I didn't enroll them in a charity school or like a religious school because of the religion. So when we respect and expect from people here and who's the whole board and the system to respect all the religions, all the diversity, and this is what we really are proud of about Sylvania. I just want to tell that, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Sarah Bernard.
Sarah Bernard, 5537 Little Road. I actually said before this that I wasn't going to get up and speak. I usually speak too much, so that's usually kind of a fault that I have, and I've had a lot of coffee, so I'm just going to preface this with, bear with me. I don't know if I can even read my chicken scratch, but I am a 22-year Sylvania veteran teacher. I have 3 students that have gone through the schools. I'm an alum. I'm a taxpayer, I live in the community. My background growing up in Sylvania schools was being one of the others. It started in elementary, where I kind of was off to the side, not being able to participate in the more Christian observed holidays. In high school, I was called a Jap. I had phone calls to my home saying they were going to burn me out because I was a dirty Jew. My children have had things that they've endured. As a teacher, I've had students that know my children that will make comments in my classroom that are antagonistic. I choose to just not give it any attention because I know where it's coming from. My son, with the political events that are taking place, was approached at the gym and shown video of a Jewish gentleman being kicked around on the ground and told that he was disgusting. So division already exists in our district. I pride myself as a teacher, teaching the values that LifeWise Academy believes they are teaching. I teach To Kill a Mockingbird. We practice using our voice and standing up for injustices and rhetorical devices. We teach just mercy and the history behind it. We brought in a refugee speaker to speak to the students about what it was like for him for these 6 years it took him to get to this country and what it feels like being an other. You could have heard a pin drop in the cafeteria at Arbor Hills. Our kids need more diversity. My child at Highland sat at a Daisy meeting and cried when she came home because she felt like an other. I watched the quietest girl in the Daisy troop sit with her head down, and she's not one to speak. And when I approached the Daisy leader, being a teacher and normally just observing that kind of stuff and it being second nature, I was treated as though that was a put out to maybe perhaps teach what the majority does not observe, so the others can feel welcome. I pulled my child from Daisy's. She graduated with all the badges of kindness, of respect, because the person leading them did not see that. I think you recall how I had a huge problem with it. Okay. So naturally, when LifeWise Academy was brought up, I like to read. I like to research. Who's behind LifeWise Academy? It is an Ohio State former Buckeye player. He is an athlete. He is a communications major. He has no education background that I could find. He has no adolescent development background that I could find. He has no psychology background that I could find. And even more importantly, he has no theology background that I could find, other than being a practicing evangelical Christian. Now, I grew up in an interfaith household. I was raised Jewish, but I also observed the other holidays that my Episcopalian mother and her family observed. So this has nothing to do with being biased or thinking one religion or one faith is better than others. This has to do with being a parent and a community member and a teacher that observes the division that already exists, and knowing that we are encouraging our students with these values and these morals, that they feel they need to pull children for an hour. And yes, maybe they'll have a permission slip, that's great, but those values are already being taught. I also question how with an hour's worth of instruction, 42 minutes is our class period. They will be missing class. The more at-risk students that I deal with that desperately need these values and these morals and extra time don't have the time. They're already giving up their lunch. They don't have the time. They're behind in classes. They're doing credit recovery.
Sarah, we're at 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, I encourage you to think twice about this, to look at the fundamental principles, and not encourage any more division within our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. John Reed.
Hello, I'm old, and I've seen a lot of things, and I've lived in the Sylvania area for over 40 years, had 2 boys graduate from school, and they're doing okay. I appreciate my one son, he got extra help from the Sylvania schools, and I thought that was great. I think this word diversity, we have too much of it. We hear it too much. When I was growing up in upstate New York, I was a minority. Our town was over 75% Catholic, and every Tuesday afternoon, those folks went to school. We stayed, but you know what? I turned out okay. And I think that we've heard a lot of negative tonight, and I feel sorry for that. I feel sorry for people that are that negative. I don't care what the cause is, but if you're negative, you're going to find more negative. I've had a chance to work on the beginning committee at Perrysburg with LifeWise, and I've seen it come through. I've seen the growth of it. Started out with like 16 people. They're up to over 60 students each week now. I've heard a lot about they'll miss time. They go at lunchtime. They are fed at lunchtime. They have fun. It's not meant to persuade. It's meant to develop the whole person that you folks have talked about. And I know that my boys, they went to Cub Scouts. I think that our scouting, is it still available on school grounds now? Is that true?
After school.
Pardon?
After school.
Yes, okay, all right. And Girl Scouts is? Do they still have Young Life?
Yeah, all those things.
Yeah, those all, okay. Those are all opportunities to explore other options. My kids played sports, lots of sports, and they associated with soccer and stayed there. And I think that this is just another opportunity that is being brought to our community that I've lived in for over 40 years that says, hey, it's an option. It's not taking away, it's allowing an option for growth. Thank you.
Thank you. Hallie Freed.
Hi, good evening. My name is Hallie Freed. I reside at 7107 Cannonspark Road, and I'm the proud parent of 4 very proud Jewish students ranging in age from 9 to 13. And I am here tonight to express my concern about potentially including LifeWise Academy in our public school district. While I appreciate the importance of providing Sylvania students with a comprehensive education, I believe that allowing LifeWise Academy into our district raises several significant concerns. LifeWise Academy curriculum does not align with the principles of secular education that Sylvania Schools provides. Introducing religious or sectarian teachings into our district would undermine the First Amendment right to be free from religious indoctrination and the principle of religious neutrality that is essential for a diverse and inclusive learning environment. LifeWise Academy's presence poses the risk of blurring the boundaries between church and state, potentially leading to legal challenges and controversies for Sylvania schools. Our public schools should remain neutral ground, free from any affiliations with religious organizations for all of our diverse students and their families. Utilizing LifeWise would once again alienate any student that is not Christian and could in turn lead to more bullying and less tolerance than there already is for those who are different. In other districts, LifeWise inappropriately and unconstitutionally utilize taxpayer dollars and resources to promote, organize, and encourage student attendance at an overtly evangelical Christian Bible class. Who are these teachers? Are they qualified professionals like our incredible Sylvania school workforce? What training have they had, and why would you want them to be a part of our district when every other employee has met rigorous standards of professionalism and expertise? I urge you to not allow them or any other program like this into Sylvania schools that violates our First Amendment right of our students into our district. It is vital to our district to share in our community's differences and celebrate them instead of alienating and creating a larger divide for our children. Please do not allow LifeWise into our district and uphold the integrity of our public school system. Thank you.
Thank you. Marcus Zapata.
Good evening. My name is Marcus Zapata. I live at 5841 Jeffrey in Sylvania. Mr. Aston brought up weighing the enrollment at a public or a private education. My kids are in 3rd and 4th grade. My wife and I have never stopped contemplating what path their education is going to have moving forward. Public school is on the ticket, private school is on the ticket, homeschooling is on the ticket. I know so many parents that have left the district or those that want to leave the district because of the path of public education around the country and here at home. I fully support this program and would love to have my kids have the option to enroll in something like this while we can stay in the district. It would be a massive thumbs up for me. On a personal view, our children are exposed to an array of things in our district that opposes my values and the values of many others, but we don't really have a say in that. We're stuck with what we get. As we've heard time and time again from our resident input time, this is not a cost-based program to the district. This isn't a favoritism program where kids come back with gifts or, as they allude to, bribery, I would assume. And this is an option for parents like me that love the district and want to have even more of a reason to stay in it. Lastly, I went to Sylvania schools. I grew up around a diverse group of students. My best friend was a Jewish sophomore. I befriended a Muslim girl named Yusuf. We had a class, we talked every day. I, as a Christian, love people of all faiths. Hallie and I wish each other Happy Hanukkah and Merry Christmas to this day. That's a relationship that has lasted decades. Made that friendship, again, in high school. As a Christian, we love people of all faiths. That is what we do. The divisive language that I've heard today doesn't represent us. As a business owner, I deal with hundreds of people a day of all different backgrounds and love them each unconditionally. That is who I am. That is what most of my peers are. That is what I love. I'm going to leave you with the opportunity is here. I don't see a risk in even trying it out. I know that might not be what the group wants, but I don't see a negative to this. I don't see a problem with the trial run. There are many districts in our area that are using it. Speak with them, get their input. Don't let a packed room bully you into an automatic no, because that's what it seems like the move was for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Ashley Aston.
Hi, my name is Ashley Aston, and I reside at 7876 Old Sycamore Lane. I graduated from Northview High School in 2020 and would like to speak in support of LifeWise Academy. I find it crucial that this public school system adopt LifeWise Academy for the betterment of their institutions and the young students who grow and develop into adults through them. This is a program that is open to all students. It is not forceful, and it is not required. These students must require a signature from their parent in order to attend a LifeWise meeting, which occurs once a week and takes place during non-core classes. This has been reiterated multiple times. The student will not miss any crucial learning. This program does absolutely no harm by teaching students qualities that promote quality citizens, which is the purpose of what the school district is intended to do. These qualities include respect, gratitude, responsibility, patience, and courage. It is meant to encourage young children, which is something we need desperately within this system. After all, the teachings come from the Bible, which is a book of love and grace, not hate and not exclusion. It is written intentionally to provide you with hope for your future, regardless of your past. Anybody, regardless of race, religion, and gender, are welcome within LifeWise Academy group. There are multiple faith-based groups that operate in these schools already, several of which I was proudly a part of and who have impacted me greatly, several of which accommodate students outside of Christianity. There is no intention within implementing this program where other religions are suppressed or not recognized. Please consider adopting this program, as 800 Sylvania residents back this organization already. It is working in 400+ schools around the country and is allowed on a federal and state level and is very much constitutional. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah Jackson.
Hi, I'm Sarah Jackson, and I live in Sylvania Township on Rose Glen. And I wasn't prepared to speak, so I'm speaking extemporaneously, so please bear with me. But I also am a Sylvania School sub for 23 years, and I was at Timberstone today. And I met a young lady by the name of Safa, and I talked to her because my best friend was Muslim in this community in the 70s. And I said, can you imagine how she felt in the 70s? Because she was the only Muslim in this community. And I happened to be her best friend, and we talked about how Ramadan is upon us, and we played tennis, and I felt so bad for her because she couldn't even drink water. So I wanted to combat or address the concerns about not supporting the Arab and Muslim community, which I think every educator in this room can attest to the fact and should be very proud of the fact that we have been so accepting, so inclusive, so willing to lend a hand, provide food baskets, food bags for them at the end of the week. We allow them to go off into rooms and pray. I love that. We let some young men in junior high age, and I've witnessed this being a substitute teacher, they leave school on Friday afternoon to pray with their fathers. I love it. Personally, I love it. So I'd like people who are interested in the LifeWise Academy to have that opportunity themselves. And we hear about the breaking the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment, and this is not, Sylvania Schools is not endorsing Christianity if they were to adopt the LifeWise Academy. Also, I was very proud of the young gals that spoke, because I'm passionate about causes, and while we might not agree on this one, I love their fuel, their fire. I hope they always have that. But just like the Christian religion that might espouse certain pillars or tenets of their faith that are important to them, I know the Islam does the same thing. So every world religion does that. Also, I want to respect the Christian students who might be uncomfortable when they're asked what their preferred pronouns are, or might be uncomfortable if they're with a transgender student and are a little uncomfortable with that because they're not familiar with it or their teachings might tell them otherwise. So I guess where's the inclusivity for that particular person? So I just wanted to end on the fact that I know teachers are tired of doing all sorts of jobs that aren't in their job title, like being a counselor, being supportive, feeding the kids, making sure everything like that is taken care of. So this would be a way to get the values that they have no time to, as much time as they'd like, I suppose, to teach, and have somebody else do that for them. And finally, and I apologize, I don't have the study reference, but there was a study recently that said 16 minutes of 1 hour of education in the public school, there's actually 16 minutes where a child is learning. So I would propose and believe in my heart that LifeWise Academy would provide far more than 16 minutes of education. It would provide a lifetime of education. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that concludes our public comment this evening on agenda items. And we're with you, Mr. Koch.
So I have 8 resolutions tonight, filing an original border revision complaint for several parcels that we discussed last month. If in regards to there was the law change. These are all $500,000 of value, all commercial property parcels. If I could have a motion or discussion.
I'll move approval on a consent agenda basis for items 4.1 through 4.8.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, call the roll.
Kim?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes.
Thank you.
We're with you, Dr. Motley.
Thank you, Ms. Lavalette. Thank you. There we go. I recommend item 5.1, which is the approval for the Northview Majorettes to travel to Orlando, Florida for May 9th through May 13th, as they will be participating in a baton twirling competition. And it is an international competition at that.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Comments or questions? Okay, please call the roll.
Greg?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
He said yes.
Oh, he did? Sorry, I didn't hear. Julie?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes. Thank you. I recommend item 5.2, payment in lieu of, as noted, for the 23-24 school year.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Kim?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
We are with you, Mr. Tyberski.
Thank you. I recommend items 6.1 through 6.4 on a consent agenda basis. 6.1 are licensed substitute teachers. 6.2 is licensed extra duty. 6.3 is a licensed resignation. And 6.4 is a licensed retirement. I want to thank Jennifer Reynolds for her 30 years of service to Sylvania.
I'll move approval on a consent agenda basis items 6.1 through 6.4.
Second.
Comments or questions?
Thank you to Mrs.
Yeah,
Wren.
congratulations, Ms. Reynolds.
Julie?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Thank you. I will recommend items 7.1 and 7.2 on a consent agenda basis. 7.1 are classified new hires. 7.2 are classified resignations.
I'll move approval on a consent agenda basis items 7.1 and 7.2. I will second.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Julie?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Thank you. I will recommend items 8.1 through 8.3 on a consent agenda basis. 8.1 are supplemental positions for the 23-24 school year. 8.2 is a change to a supplemental for this school year. And 8.3 are athletic volunteers for the 23-24 school year.
I'll move for approval on a consent agenda basis, items 8.1 through 8.3.
I'll second.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Greg?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we are now at the portion of our agenda for public participation for non-agenda items. Okay, we have none. And no executive session. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Julie?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes.
We're adjourned.